So I forgot the show even existed, but yet here we are. Hello, this is Jason from CC Studios, and today we're going to talk about Velma. So I I honestly forgot that Velma even existed for the longest time because it was announced like a year ago. No, 2 years ago, like around early 2021, back around before everything got really messy with HBO Max and Warner and all of that. So I just forgot about it. Nothing was really talked about other than like a screenshot or two. This show's a mess in a whole bunch of different ways. I'm trying to figure out which way it's going. I shouldn't judge the show based off its first two episodes because it just came out like today. And as of recording, it just came out. So, and it's releasing in pairs. So I shouldn't judge Velma off its first two episodes, but there are so many strong, bold brushstrokes that the show is going that it it seems way different. Not gonna lie. I thought this show was going to go the way of Batgirl and all the other animated shows that came on HBO Max whenever I call it the fucking when everything was basically getting removed or being written off as a tax write-off. I thought Velma was gonna go that way. But I forgot about it up until yesterday.
This is my story, told my way. She has no brain! Oh, I'm not dissing her. She has no brain! And it starts with a murder.
The show's it's giving Riverdale meets US Skins meets like kind of any kind of teen show from the 2000s on over past like 20 or 30 years. Velma takes the tried and true Scooby Doo formula and gives us its first huge shakeup ever since Seth MacFarlane clone Be Cool Scooby Doo back around I think 2015. And one of the few shows to not have Scooby Doo in it, the other being I think Velma and Daphne. It only features Velma, Daphne, and Norville. The series takes many ideas from series past that weren't put into place until recently, including Velma's status as a queer icon, that queer icon that she should have been from the get-go, but I digress.
In this day and age, you can't speculate about someone's sexuality unless they're famous or Peppermint Patty.
Taking notes from like recent teen shows like Riverdale, especially in its writing, the sensationalization of gritty dramas like Euphoria, and the adding of a bunch of self-aware referential pop culture moments, and writing that seems like it'd be coming straight from Twitter, as well as a Mean Girl-esque aesthetic that approaches this should appeal to the demographic that grew up with shows like, when I would say What's New Scooby Doo, but What's New Scooby Doo crowd, the Mystery Incorporated crowd, those people who are like young adults or teenagers or kids during that time that grew up with Scooby Doo series. It kind of feels like it's going in that direction. I'm not sure how it worked though. The show takes elements of the Mystery Gang and personality and amps those certain features up to 11. Daphne and Fred's popularity, Velma's outcast nature, and the tendency to have that genius complex, and the fact that Shaggy's real name is Norville. The race bending and personality shifts is a great touch, I feel like, to disrupt what we've been given so far when it comes to the Scooby-Doo franchise. It's a great shakeup. It's also one of my favorite aspects of this messy ass show. To have the dynamics of the Mystery Gang change so much, it's almost aligning with like the second live action movie with James Gunn and kind of like Scoob 2, and the fact that this is giving origin story as well. It's also kind of where some of the problems lie. What I mean by that is that a lot of the personality changes and restructuring, so to speak, it does lend itself to a lot of problems in the actions and the behaviors of these characters. For example, let's take Fred. To make Fred to be like a prepubescent himbo who's like spoiled, filthy rich, and plays on the fact that he's filthy rich and never has had to lift a finger in his life. They make a Norville almost the complete opposite of Shaggy in ways that are interesting, but kind of feels like they're playing against type intentionally. The best parts of Shaggy, well, Norville's character that is retained from previous iterations is that Norville has a love of food. They take that and make him a snack streamer, which is pretty cool because thinking that he'll be like a content creator, I think that's a pretty cool, interesting aspect of Shaggy's character that transfers into Norville. Another thing is that they retain the crush on Velma that Shaggy had in Mystery Incorporated, so I think that's a pretty cool touch as well. I would call it a spoiler, but it is not really a spoiler. At least not in the sense of like, oh, it's part of the show, but it's like it's something that we've seen already multiple times. So whatever, go on, whatever. The most interesting changes though comes in the form of Daphne, who of course is race bended to be Asian. She's adopted by queer cops, which is a choice. I don't know what kind of choice it is, but it's a choice. They give Daphne character traits that amp up the fact that like she is fashionable, but is also kind of vain and not the nicest person. But I don't think anyone on the show is like nice, except for Norville. Love him, best character on the show so far. Mwah. Velma herself is given interesting backstory, which leads to her characters and all of the interesting choices that the show takes. And I'm honestly interested because of those bold choices that they make with Velma's character. And making so much of her genius come off as like standoffish, very judgmental, genius complexity, like the typical like, oh, I'm better than you because I'm smarter than you kind of thing. Behind those behaviors though is a story of like immense guilt over an incident that happened with her parents in the past about a couple of years ago. But that's all I'll say on that matter. The shifts in personality and character and dynamic, on top of the Mean Girls Riverdale level writing that goes from 0 to 100 really quick, and as well as the constant jokes, the references amount of pop culture, the bold swings the show takes. The word is interesting. That's the word. The word is interesting. Not good, not bad, interesting. The show, though, is wanting to be that girl so bad. Like, it has potential. It really does. There's a lot of mess that the show has. Like, of course, we love a good mystery. That's the core of Scooby Doo. But the way that we get to these mysteries are both interesting and also kind of like played out in a way where you're just like, we've already seen this. But there are other interesting things that are happening in Velma that takes the Scooby Doo formula and pushes it as far as it's ever been, like the furthest it's ever been when it comes to showing mature content. I'm interested in seeing how the show pushes the series. Even if I don't really see this show winning any awards or anything, or gaining favor for a while, I'm interested to see more of the bold swings Velma takes. And this possibly can also push for new ground for the Mystery Gang and the dynamics moving forward in the series. Something that I've kind of expect to see at this point, but considering the constant reinventions that this Mystery Gang has had over its 60-year career and history as a series. Right now, even though it's only 2 episodes in, just premiered, like I said, it's already been hit with a lot of hate, especially coming from the different, writing choices that they make, the race bending, the everything, everything that happens in this show. And it's got to the point where the YouTube comments are off. There's so much Twitter hate. I'm pretty sure one day the Velma Twitter is gonna go private. A lot of the criticism are coming from very reactionary people who are calling it, oh, it's too woke, or other weird buzzwords like that. So it's getting a lot of hate from multiple sides, and I feel like it's too early to really judge a show. The court of public opinion is saying that this show is bad. I don't think it's bad. I think it's too early to tell where the show's going to go, but this show has proven me that it is going to go in different directions constantly, and no one's really gonna know how the show goes until we see it. The way that I see it is that I'm kind of interested in seeing how it goes, and I keep up with it. I'm interested in seeing how wide these brushstrokes are going to be. Thank you for watching. I do not think that this was going to be the first video of 2023, but man, I had to capitalize off this easily. But until then, thank you for watching. This has been Jason from CC Studios. Reminder, I have a podcast called Host of Horrors. We're gonna bring it back eventually. And thank you so much. You have a nice one. So I'm not gonna say that it shouldn't exist. I'm just saying, why does it exist?